What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Smile Today podcast, the number one podcast in the world to make you smile today. I hope you're having a blessed day so far, and if you're reading the title of this episode, it's the third Q&A on relationships. Guys, I'm no love expert. I'm not a relationship expert, but I just want to give you some practical ways on, whatever questions you guys have about relationships, whether that's with friends, family, significant others, or God. I just think I could help you. And by the grace of God, I can just be a vessel and just give you the answers that you've been searching for, hopefully. So I had about 1,000 something questions I went through this morning. It was a lot, and I got it down to 8. So we're going to start off strong with this first one. This one's great. So I'm 20. I'm still feeling like I'll never find someone who will truly love me due to my last relationship. Yeah, I felt this way too. When I was 20 was the last actually relationship that I was in. I'm 22 now. And so I've been single for, 2 years now. Yeah, over 2 years. Whoa. Let's let that reality settle in. I think there's still so much more out there. There's still so much more life for you to live out there, and there's so many more experiences for you to have. And truly, enjoy the time of being alone. You're going to learn more about yourself being alone than you will with somebody else, especially in your 20s. I am just speaking from experience. Me spending enough time away from not having someone made me realize that there were still a lot of things that I needed to fix in myself, whether that was my ego, my pride, my anger. There were so many things that I guess I didn't really realize until I was out of the jar, right? You can't read the label if you're inside the jar. And once I got out of the jar, I was like, dang, you know, maybe this is why I failed my last relationship, because I ended up breaking things off in my last relationship because I wanted to get closer to God. I was living in a sinful relationship and I wasn't happy with that. I wasn't happy with the feelings that were tied to that. And I knew taking that step away would be a better step in a different direction. And I was very grateful for that moment. So I would just encourage you that you're 20 and you might be a little bit damaged from the last relationship, which is okay. That means you love deeply and you're brave enough to love deeply. But that means that there's going to be someone else out there that can love you in the same way that you desire. So stand firm in that and be patient, you know? It's something I tell myself every day. I feel like my heart's ready for a relationship, but at the end of the day, it's about being patient. And I still think there's just always a lot more to learn about ourselves. Every day there's something new to learn, and life is a lifelong journey of learning. So, yeah, continue to just do your best and keep your heart in the right place and let God guide you. So, yeah, that was a great question. The next one: what should a friendship offer me? That's a good question. Friendships are complicated sometimes because, when you meet a new friend, it's a super exciting thing, and you're starting to learn more about them, and you're starting to spend more time with them. But then there's some times where you can like butt heads. You get a little frustrated with something or something they do, but at the end of the day, I think friendships overlook that. I think a true friendship can really be about building each other up, filling each other with positivity, being happy for each other, and again, being there for each other, right? Like being able to serve each other in the right way. Them being a battery in your life, not a vacuum. I always say there's batteries and vacuums. Vacuums tend to kind of suck away the joy and your peace, and it makes it feel like a relationship is one-sided, whereas a battery is someone who charges you, who fills you up, who always encourages you and makes you feel like like they're your little shot of coffee, or they're like your little way to bring you up during your harder days. And so I think a friendship to just offer you that, to just fill your cup, overflow your cup, and allow you to go to them if you're having trouble or you want to talk about something. I think there's just always someone that could be there for you and support you and just be with you. So that's what I believe a good friendship should offer you. And just look for that in a friendship, someone who's honest, someone who's humble, and someone, again, who can make sure you're going down a good path. That's that's a good one. Great question. The next question is, what advice can you offer about making the relationship last forever? Whoa. If we're talking about relationships in both standpoints, I think any relationship, it has to be about open communication. I had a problem recently where my friend and we were not communicating, and it just kind of raised these walls that we didn't really know we had. And then we just sat down and we had an open, vulnerable conversation, and we're like, dude, like what's going on? And that open communication was something we were lacking. We weren't communicating every day. We weren't talking like we used to. And that put a little bit of a barrier in our friendship. And so, yeah, just have communication daily. I don't think we're ever too busy to just send a quick text or a voice memo. It doesn't necessarily have to be like you're calling or hanging out every day. It could just be as simple as a text message. That is like, hey, I'm thinking about you. Hey, I hope you're having a great day. Hey, how was your day? And I think that's what makes a friendship last forever. Because even distance, like I have friends that live across the country. My sister lives across the country. And we just make an effort to communicate with each other frequently. Like that's the biggest part is effort. Your effort has to be matched. It's not 50-50, it's 100-100. You both have to be willing to put in the same amount of effort in a relationship and have that communication in order for it to be sustainable and last forever. Yeah. That's a great question. Seriously, I love that. So I just encourage you to just keep communicating, keep talking, and that's really the most important thing. Okay, the next one this is controversial-ish, but do you believe in dating to marry or dating for the experience? Oh, this is such a hard question. I'm 22 now. I believe dating to marry. I say like I don't want to waste time. Just dating to date. I think it's cool to like go on dates. Now, this is a different kind of thing. Dating in our generation is like you guys are dating, your boyfriend and girlfriend, but like dating it 30 years ago, like for my parents was like when you go on a date with someone, you're dating, right? So I think that's a little bit different. I think what you should do is you should seek and put yourself out there. Like, if you're young like me, you're 22 or you're 18 to 22 and just go on coffee dates, go on a picnic, like go walk and talk to someone, I think it's great to go out and meet people and get out of your shell a little bit. But when it comes to a relationship, I truly believe in dating to marry because I don't want to necessarily like waste my time and put so much time and effort into someone just to date them. I think that doesn't really make much sense because you want to have a lasting relationship with someone, right? If you want to see a future with them, you're going to start thinking about the deeper things in life. No matter where your heart posture is among the dating world, you're going to think, hey, like maybe this could be my person. And it's like, well, if you have the intention of dating to marry, then you could be very intentional with those steps and you could take it really slow and just be patient and, continue to have a godly relationship in that sense. And I think that's such a beautiful thing. Seeing love just unfold very slowly is so great. I think we live in a very instant gratification world where people want results and they want, to get into all that stuff. And I'm just not that way anymore. I mean, I think about my grandparents got married at 22 and 23. They had kids when they were 25. I'm a little late. I need to start on step one, which is actually like talking to a godly woman. But regardless, I am dating to marry, but I don't see a problem in just going on dates and just like, seeking out more people. I think that's how you find your person is by almost like failing forward, meeting more people and seeing, okay, maybe this person doesn't have what I'm looking for. We don't believe in the same things, and that's okay. Then you can move on. So that's my best answer without going like too far down the rabbit hole. I talk to people about this all the time. And yeah, so that's where I stand. This episode is brought to you by Talkspace. If you ever thought about therapy but didn't know where to start, Talkspace makes it simple. It's online, so you can talk to a licensed therapist from anywhere. No commuting, no wait rooms, no long wait lists. And the best part, for most people, it's covered by insurance. Sometimes the copay is even $0. That means real help, flexible scheduling, and care that actually fits your lifestyle. I know how hard and heavy life can feel when you try to carry it alone. You don't have to anymore. Use the link in the description to get started today because your mental health matters. Now, let's get right back into the episode. The next one. Is it true that God will put someone in your life when you're ready? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I love I love seeing this in other people's relationships and lives. It's so awesome and it's so fruitful seeing someone work on themselves, seeing someone have a bold faith, seeing someone that has, truly dedicated their life to God and obeys God. And I think it's so amazing seeing how their life kind of unfolds. And I'm so freaking happy for people. So when I hear about someone getting in a relationship and seeing people get engaged, and I think that's just like, wow, that is so awesome. And I think 99% of the time they could tell you it was so unexpected. It was so like I wasn't looking for anything, but God just put this person in my life. And it's, everyone always says like it happens when you least expect it. I believe that, because sometimes God doesn't do things the way we think he should, but he has a perfect plan for your life. And I think that goes with the people and the experiences and just the places that he puts you in. It's so beautiful. So yes, it is true that God will put someone in your life when you're ready. The next question: what is the best thing you can maintain in a relationship? This is the same answer from earlier. I believe it's open communication, it's open dialogue. So many things get left unsaid because we get into this like analysis paralysis where we worry about the next thing we should say, or, oh, that person just texted me. Like, I'm not going to answer for 20 minutes because it looks like I'm desperate. No, like, forget about that. Because I always think like tomorrow isn't promised. And I'm not saying for you to like do something absolutely crazy, but I'm saying this in the fact that like if tomorrow isn't promised, answer that text faster than you would. Like it doesn't, society is going to tell you to not answer that text or to, kind of like play the tough guy or play the person that doesn't look desperate. But it's like, that's not what it's about. If you have the time to answer someone, if you have the time to like call someone for 5 minutes, do it. If it's on your heart, like do it. And again, I'm not telling you to make like some crazy decision, but I'm just saying like when you have that open communication, when you're able to just text like, hey, I'm feeling like this, can we like hop on a call or something, or like send a voice memo, because I think there's like a lot of like gray area when it comes to texting or not having this open communication. That's when like you start to bottle things up and you don't say certain things, and then you hold a grudge against that person. And it's like, at the end of the day, if you just had that conversation as soon as you started to feel those things, a lot of things would be squashed and you'd be able to move aside and like push those things aside and continue to move forward. That's how you make a strong relationship, is by having this open dialogue and saying, hey, I'm feeling like this. Can we talk about this? And it's like, oh, yeah, okay. I didn't know that. Now I know, and now I know what to do for next time. And it's just like this constant learning cycle. So, yeah, just be open to communication, stay open to it, and talk about what's on your heart, talk about how you feel. That's important stuff. So, yeah, I encourage you to do that. This is great. I'm going to kind of just tie this into both. How do I improve my faith or relationship in God? This is something I actually talk about a lot with my Snapchat community. I just love everybody on there. So if you're seeing this from Snapchat, I love you so much. You are amazing. And if you're seeing this off of Snapchat, you are also amazing, and I love you so much. But I talk a lot on Snapchat. I talk to a lot of people that are asking questions like this. And one thing I think is to have something hold you accountable, or whether that's someone or like a Bible app. I use Bible Chat. I'm actually partnered with them. I use Bible Chat all the time because it sends me notifications. I have a daily word that I read every day. It gives me scripture. It gives me prayer. It gives me everything that I need, and also questions, like biblical questions that I have. I get very curious, and I want to make sure I live my life in a way that is obeying to God and obeying to what He has written in scripture. So I always ask questions. I'm like, hey, what does this mean? And Bible Chat always comes up with scripture, and I just love it so much. So I'd say accountability at first is the biggest one. Just staying consistent and getting in my word every single day, whether that was even through like a quick devotional book, right? A little time with God is better than no time with God. So intentional time with the Lord every day, whether that's 5, 10, 15 minutes, is so good. And God desires that for you and me. And so for me now, as being more seasoned, I I set aside about an hour every morning and I make sure that I journal to God, I pray to God, and I also just read my Bible because I'm just so freaking curious. I just love reading about the Word. I love reading about like what happened in the world even before Jesus came. I think it's just so cool. And now there's great shows like The Chosen, The House of David. There's like various animated kind of Bible stories. So there's just so much to learn, and it keeps you curious and it keeps you on fire. So follow the people that are supporting your faith desires, that are supporting the relationship that you desire with the Lord, and allow that to dwell in you and allow you to become more curious, and always just have an open heart posture to where you could say like, I could truly learn anything from anyone at any time. I'm open to all conversations, and just let the Lord guide you. And I think that will be the best step for you. So that was a great question. And I'm going to close out with this last question. And this is a hard one. It says, what do I do if I broke someone's heart? I'm there with you. I have broken a lot of hearts, to be honest, in friendships, relationships, family members. And it comes from a place that I don't like to do that. I don't like to hurt people. I don't think any of us do. And if you're feeling like, this is something that's hindering your growth right now and it's hindering the way that you look at yourself, I want you to just reflect, and I want you to just know that it's okay. Maybe it was a mistake. Maybe you said things that you didn't mean, and that it happens. We're human. We make mistakes. We say things that we don't mean sometimes. And I think the best thing to do is to know that you could always apologize to that person again. You could always say like, hey, can we talk for a second? I wasn't happy with the way things ended. And I just want to let you know that I'm here for you. I'm still happy for you. I'm so grateful for the time and the experience that we had together. And I'm grateful that it allowed me to learn more about myself and teach me these important lessons that we are blessed with in life. Just point to the better part of that relationship. I think sometimes we get caught up in like, well, they did this to me and they did that and they said this. And, so I had to break their heart. I had to say these things. And, maybe that was a hard conversation for you to have, but still, there's always something good you could take from a relationship. There's always something good, right? I just remember in my hardest conversations with people, even friends, it's like, hey, I'm sorry I had to take a step away from you. And, maybe we're not going to be, as close friends anymore, but I still want to see you win. I'm still supporting you on your journey. And I'm still so, so happy for you. But I had to have a second conversation with them that basically was me apologizing and me just saying again, like, I'm sorry. And I just pray that you win in your life and that you are happy and you find peace and you find love and you find someone that can meet the needs that you desire. And yeah, just having compassion for other people. I think that is just so important. So you're doing okay. I want to tell you that you're doing fine. If it's on your heart to have another conversation, do it. It is so freeing and it is so amazing. But I pray that answered your question, guys. And thank you so much for asking all these beautiful questions. You guys are amazing. There'll be another Q&A next week, so stay tuned to my Instagram. The topic is unknown, but I hope you guys have a blessed day, and make sure to smile today.